Om Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. Well, my humble namaskaram, vanakkam, and greetings to one and all, and welcome to the South Indian Express. Well, I am your host, the son of the Mount Hitchcomb soil, and welcome to this, I can say this evening's, or I can say today's program. And this is a Poosam Kavady program that I put together for you, and we are really looking forward in having my guest in studio, and he is Mr. Kovilan Ramsamy, and he will be with us shortly, speaking to us about Poosam Kavady and Murugan worship. Also, on behalf of the South Indian Express Impressions 94.3 FM, I would like to take this very grand opportunity in wishing one and all that's observing this Poosam Kavady everything of the best. May Lord Murugan shower you with his richest blessings. Well, starting off my program this evening is a Navaratna Male, and this is by Magendran Balakistan. the filling station.
Remember that? We do 2 programs a week.
One program.
One program.
And I do a special in Kavady and
Yeah. Streaming you actually live in studio. No problem.
I have a studio and normally I speak through Mauritius.
Okay.
That's one. So can you just turn it towards you?
Oh, it's me.
You can just press that not now, but the second one.
Now I could say we've got people crossing over from UK, India, Malaysia, Singapore.
Yeah.
We sent in a lot of international
Yeah,
platforms.
I've seen quite a few groups you posted,
Yeah. Some people like my discourse, some people don't. Because I'm a very realistic person.
That's what we need.
That's what I do.
We get to the temple now.
Now I'm not going to go to heaven yesterday.
Tomorrow we go.
Don't just only use Kripa White Puri. And every year Kripa says the same thing. You want to be different. Do more research.
How's the Babaji's foundation been?
Very strong.
I keep watch the videos.
Yeah, he's in Canada now for Thai Poosam. We're trying to get him here for Kandasasti.
He was in India, right? So Kandasasti.
Yeah. So he's now in Canada, he goes back to UK.
Yeah.
He starts traveling again, India, Singapore, Malaysia. His following has gone big now.
That time when we brought him here, when he came to the Perumal temple, hey, that was a
Right?
big celebration.
People don't forget it. But when I speak now about the difference between a guru and a brahmin, because all our temples are becoming gurukuls.
Yeah.
They are brahmins. Even priests is not the right word. Priests belong to the Jewish and the Christian people.
available on 94.3 FM in and around the Phoenix and surrounding areas.
To all die-hard OPC, Opel, Peugeot and Citroën fans, and those in the game of fun and excitement, CMH, Opel, Peugeot and Citroën in Umhlanga invites you to their dealership. For those out-of-towners, surf the web or dial now to take part in their Summer Dreams campaign that has KZN in a frenzy. From thousands of rands and prizes up for grabs, cashback deals and even free scooters, no one should be at a loss this summer when dealing with CMH OPC Umhlanga. Don't be left behind with this amazing opportunity. Contact us on 031 580 7900. Put those dreams to bed and be a winner this summer, only at CMH OPC in Umhlanga. T's and C's apply.
Impressions 94.3 FM, radio for you.
Well, once again, my humble vanakkam, namaste, namaskaram, om saravanabhava to one and all that's watching and listening to our live stream, and also through our FM. I hope that everyone is well. I can say that today I am very privileged in having a very good friend live in studio, and he is Kovilan Ramsamy, and his children Mayuri Ramsamy and also Skandan. Ramsamy. I hope that everyone is really looking forward to this lovely, lovely discourse. Well, to you all, Namaskaram and Om Saravana Baba to you all.
Om Saravanabhava, sage to you and the listeners of Impressions.
Well, Thai Poosam Kavady, what an event in South Africa. I think everyone is really looking forward to going into temples and also observing and getting Lord Murugan's blessing. I hope that you all are looking forward to this lovely and grand celebrated event.
I think after the years that we lost through COVID, the year 2023 Thai Poosam Kavady has become a reawakening of the festival that actually brings all South Africans to our temples.
Thank you, Kovilan. And when I had the chance for me to put up this program, and when I was thinking about who can I actually get into studio and speak about Murugan worship and being a Murugan Bhakti, I think Mr. Ramsamy, your name has been first on my list. So welcome, and hope that your stay is a good stay on Impressions. So you are the national chairperson of the Murugan Bhakti Foundation of South Africa. Please tell our listeners, what does this organization do?
This organization was established in 2015 when we brought almost 52 temples nationally to a conference to discuss Murugan worship in South Africa. So predominantly our organization is a resource center. Our organization is responsible for convening conferences and discourses all relating to Murugan worship.
Thank you, Kovilan. What can you tell our devotees about Kavady over and above what we were told by our parents and the temple?
I think for all of us growing up and visiting temples during Kavady, we explained this very simple understanding of the challenge between Lord Murugan and Lord Idaman in terms of the Kavady that was placed over their shoulders, where Lord Idaman had a challenge placed to Lord Murugan in terms of who can carry this up a mountain and get back the first. And obviously our dear Lord Murugan won, and on that victory Lord Idaman became the first servant of Lord Murugan.
Thank you very much, Kovilan. Well, this is a lovely track by Magendran Balakrishnan, and this is Avinasiman.
Iravamal Piravamal
I didn't actually finish that response, so we'll do it after the song. What more can you add?
Peruvali Taruvaye Kuramadi Punarvone Bugane Sutmaresa Aranale Pugalvone Avinasi Perumale Avinasi Perumale Avinasi Perumale. வற்றாது பொய்கை வளநாடு கண்டு மலைமேலிருந்த குமரா உற்றார் எனக்கு ஒரு பேரும் இல்லை உமையாதனுக்கு மகனே தாடி தந்து அடியேனையாடும் முருகேசன் என்ற நரசே தாரமாக மயில் மீதில் ஏறி வரவேணும் என்பதருளே ஆனாலமுண்டோ
There's Murugan Sasti once a month.
அடியாத
We're trying to do a program where I've explained them how Muruga has a special day called Muruga Sasti, and explained the significance of the Sasti.
I think on Thursday was the Thursday.
So happened to tell
What a good day, yeah.
we must use these platforms to educate them.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped supporting those arts. Every Kavadi will call me. I don't know that for you. It's like come Kavadi, then Muruga becomes a big conversation. After that, there's no conversation.
Yeah.
But Kavadi was a good program.
But to get artists knowing that it's 10 days of fasting, difficult.
Everything must be done from here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can't done. So Matin was in Malaysia last month.
Yeah, I was watching it.
We had a nice program together.
Yeah. You did one, I think it's hard to get also.
Again, was a Shiva devotee. All his music was Devaram Shiva. One day he had a revelation that he wants to do the Khanda Sasti cover shoot. And he said to someone he wants to do this. The person referred him to me. He says, Muruga for some reason directly to us. And I want to do the Khanda Sasti cover shoot and I need your direction. That was the first project, and everything still started to place out. 8,000 copies nationally free. One of the most distributed CD in the country.
What is very good in Tirupati.
Very good. There are different types of singers in this country, and all the different types of singers. And the Karthikeyan and the Kumarasan shit is all one that category. I look at Jason Styler, Magan and Balakistan, all these guys are another category, you know. And the youth love listening to them. And play a song by Karthikeyan, they won't listen. Play a song by him.
I don't have name.
Yeah. Who, Magan?
Karthikeyan and Asokan.
Yeah. Karthikeyan, was the Murugan Bhakta until he met me.
You don't want to play the game, you want.
I told him, hey, you need to understand who he is. And then only you will realize, whilst you pray for Vishnu and Shiva, he's instrumental in all this. And I always said, let the story be told.
Yeah.
And there's a philosophy that Muruga is Shiva. Because the sparks from Shiva's forehead created Muruga. So Muruga is Shiva himself. So how do you know how many people are online at the moment? Really? How many people are online now? 5. No sound of that. No sound of that. So I'll speak to the hearing.
And the TikTok game.
94.3 FM, radio for you.
Well, that was Magendran Balakistan. Well, live in studio we have Kovilan Ramsamy, and well, we're speaking about Murugan worship and Poosam Kavady. Well, Kovilan, would you like to add a few things to the previous question?
I think the so-called story behind Muruga and Idaman is something that we need to take to a different understanding, especially in the midst of Kali Yuga that we are all experiencing at the moment. I think it's very important that we understand and appreciate the higher significance of this beautiful process of carrying Kavadi. I think what devotees need to know that this 10 days period called Mahotsavam is where we try our best to purify our mind, body and soul, so that on the 10th day we go before Muruga and say to him, we come before you, Lord Muruga, in our most purified form. Therefore, you have devotees abstaining from meat, abstaining from alcohol, abstaining from smoking, abstaining from going to the malls and so forth. Remember, that abstinence is that of a personal nature. It is, as I said, it's your way of saying to Lord Muruga, I come before you with this pal, which is milk, on my both hands, which I'm going to offer to you, Lord Muruga, and I come before you in my most purified form. So that's the one thing that we need to understand, is that the offering to Lord Muruga is finally the offering of milk. But what does this Kavadi really signify in this period of Kali Yuga? If you place the Kavadi on your shoulder, you're asked to keep it parallel to your shoulder, where one chombu of milk is weighted in balance on the other chombu of milk. So what are we saying to Lord Muruga? Dear Lord Muruga, we're asking for you to give us balance in our lives. As I balance this Kavadi in my walk towards your holy shrine, I ask you, dear Lord Muruga, to balance my life in terms of good health, good wealth, prosperity, and all those things that make you a good person. Now, the reason I want to elaborate on this is because I find with my 25 years of working in the religious sector and predominantly with the temples, is that devotees refer to carrying the Kavadi as a vow. And for example, if you were diagnosed with cancer, you would be coerced to say, take a vow for Muruga. Take a vow for 3 years and ask him to help you with this condition called cancer. I disagree with that in terms of the approach to a person who is ill and wanting the intervention of Lord Muruga. When you accept Lord Muruga, you accept him forever. You accept him for 365 days a year, you accept him for the rest of your life. Because you cannot bargain with this powerful energy that we call Subramanya, Kartigeya, Shanmuga, Muruga. You cannot bargain with this energy and say to Muruga, help me now, and then the following year when Muruga saves you, the hell with Kavadi, I don't want to fast, the hell with carrying Kavadi, da. So I want to send this message to you because I am a perfect example of not contributing anything to carrying a Kavadi in my childhood days. It took me in an early adult stage to realize the power of Muruga. And me, my family, my friends, my colleagues, and devotees that follow me in terms of my discourses will tell you that Muruga resides in them every single day. And the last thing I want to say about something that you don't know about Kavadi. Kavadi is actually a process of discipline. A lot of people don't realize this, that in this 10 days of penance, that's what we call it, the fasting, the abstinence, is penance. Penance to Lord Muruga. Is that in these 10 days, you are supposed to change something in you that is not good for you. And if every year that you observe this abstinence and you change one thing in every year of your life, you become a better person. So let's look at any Kavadi that we observe as an understanding of the purpose of carrying Kavadi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramsamy. Also, what were the resolutions of the first South African Murugan conference?
I must say I was quite excited to see almost representation from 52 temples nationally. We had people come through from Johannesburg, Rustenburg, East London, Port Elizabeth, right down to the Western Cape. And many temples from Durban and surrounding areas. It was good to see so many people. I think historically, possibly the first time that we had 52 temples in conversation under one roof. The conference was starting a process of communication, firstly, with all organizations. And what gave birth to this conference was the fact that we're having all these different days of observing a Kavadi. Some temples are saying it's on a Friday, some temples saying it's on Saturday, and then we have this big phenomenon in South Africa called public Kavadi. So the conference wanted to deal with the so-called issue of public Kavadi. We wanted to discuss how best do you ascertain the correct day, correct time to observe Kavadi. Then the other aspect of the conference was, I don't think devotees understand the number of Kavadi festivals we have in South Africa. And I think later on the program we are going to come and converse with you in terms of the different Kavadi festivals, which is unique to South Africa and the rest of the world. The other thing that we was very strong about conversation about Vaikasi Visagam. Vaikasi Visagam is obviously, if you don't know, the appearance day of Lord Murugan, or some may even say the birthday of Lord Murugan. And it was quite strange when we discussed at the conference that if you go to temples in Kavadi, you see 5,000-10,000 people all gather to observe this important Kavadi festival. This Kavadi festival is your dedication to Lord Murugan. But the very birth and appearance day of our Murugan, we see 50 people in the temple. And that just doesn't make sense. So that was the one aspect, and I'm glad to say that many temples subsequent to the conference has really marketed and informed devotees of the special observance of Vaikasi Visagam. The other thing was Kanda Sasti. Now, Kanda Sasti comes generally around about sometime in November, depending on the almanac and the reading of the almanac. Now, we find it very strange that even through Kanda Sasti, we find 100, 150 people. But let's go back into scripture, and let's go back to the Kanda Puranam, in particular, scripture written about Lord Murugan. The purpose of the appearance of Lord Murugan through the forehead of Lord Shiva, where multiple sparks came off the forehead of Lord Shiva, and 6 of these sparks were consolidated and sent onto the river to find itself to Palamarichole, which is where we call the birthplace of Lord Murugan. And Murugan was then taken care of by 6 Kritige girls, and at some stage further, Mother Shakti got to meet her 6 sons, where she merged 6 babies into one called Murugan. Commonly known, the merging of those 6 babies as Arumuga. So, why was Lord Murugan appeared? Lord Murugan appeared because the demons were becoming a real challenge at that point in time. And all the saints and all the deities that we worship, even in the 9 planets, Surya and all of those, begged Lord Shiva to create an entity as strong as him, to free him from all these demons, in particular, a demon called Surapadman. So, the 6th day of Kanda Sasti is when Lord Murugan, as a young adult, took on the charge with his army in a period of 6 days to defeat Surapadman on the shores of Tiruchandur, where there's a one worship place of Lord Murugan right by the sea. So if this war or this challenge depicted the purpose of Lord Murugan, not only to the saints, but to us Because it's because of that victory with Surapadman, we've learned that there is good and there's bad. We pray to Lord Muruga to give us good in our life so we can defeat the devil. But that is the very emergence of Lord Muruga. But there's no one there celebrating that victory. So I think what came out strong in the conference is that both Vaikasi Vasagam and Kandasasti, our devotees, need to start observing that prayer and thanking Lord Muruga for the presence in their life and asking Muruga, whatever my challenges are, whether it's sickness, whether it's unemployment, whatever your challenges are, Muruga, as you defeated Surapadman on the 6th day of Kandasasti, Muruga, we ask you to defeat all the challenges that we have in our life. So those were the main, I think, resolutions of the conference.
Thanks, Kovilan. Can you educate our listeners and the viewers out there how many Kavady festivals are hosted in South Africa?
Well, I must admit my ignorance over the years in understanding this until I really got involved with all the temples in South Africa. And I must say that South Africa is unique in Murugan worship, in that there is so many Kavady festivals in the year that we observe, and I think many of your listeners probably would not know this. There is the Thai Poosam Kavady, which is in the month of Thai. Then we have the Pangani Utram Kavady, which is a Kavady of marriage and chariots. We have Chitra Paravam Kavady. At this juncture, I must tell your listeners that Chitra Paravam Kavady, which is a full moon Kavady, is only observed in Mauritius and South Africa, nowhere else in the world. So that makes us unique. Then we have Masi Magam Kavady. Masi Magam Kavady is observed in the mother's month of Masi. To take it even further, there are temples in South Africa and predominantly in Durban, and one that comes very popular to my mind is the Waibank temple and also the Sri Vishnu temple in Togat, which are the two that I know that actually carry the Kandasasti Kavadi. So also we have an opportunity every month during Murugan Sasti to carry Kavadi. So there's many opportunities for us to carry Kavadi. And once we're at this juncture, Sage, I just want to point out this thing about public Kavadi. You know, the public Kavadi, I don't call it public Kavadi, I call it convenience worship of Muruga. Thai Poosam is very significant. Poosam means star. On that specific Tithi falls the Poosam, the star of Lord Muruga. For example, on Saturday, the Tithi starts on Saturday morning and it ends on Sunday morning. So it's apt for us to observe Kavadi on the 4th of February. So if we have to host a public Kavadi, say at midday on the 5th, that means you're observing your Kavadi outside of the important timelines where the Poosam, which we worship in the time of Kavadi, is not adhered to. So we're totally against this thing of public Kavadi. Yes, we've heard some comments about I can't take off from work and my boss won't give me work. And Dr. R.T. Govender at that stage in the conference came onto stage and said, I disagree with every one of you. It is your constitutional right to observe a religious prayer. He said, if any employer in this country refuses for you to attend your prayer, it's a human right violation. To take it further than that, he asked a question. If suddenly you heard that your wife is pregnant and you need to take her for a confirmation of a pregnancy to a gynecologist, would you not take off from work? So what are you saying? What are you saying in that I will take the time off to take my wife to the gynecologist, but I can't take the time off to carry Kavadi for Muruga? So this was also very much discussed at the conference.
Thank you, Kovilan. Well, we will speak to Mayuri, that's the daughter of Kovilan. To you, Mayuri, Vanakkam and greetings and welcome to Impressions. Mayuri, how is it being the daughter of Kovilan Ramsamy, a religious leader?
I must say it's very big shoes to fill. But having my father as a role model is quite rewarding, and to me it's a very big privilege. And one day I hope and I aspire to make a contribution to society as he has.
Well, Mr. Ramsamy, have you heard that loud and clear?
Yes, I have, and for the first time, mind you.
And tell us, what the guidance has your dad given you over the years and about prayer observance?
My parents have never forced me nor my siblings to pray or observe anything. We were always allowed to follow our own spiritual path and find God on our own. Both my parents have always explained the significance of a prayer we're observing at home and the meaning of the prayer that we're doing. My dad always said, you must know what you're praying for and why you're praying for something. I remember my dad telling me that he came from a home where he was instructed to fast and observe prayer. My late grandfather, well versed in the Tamil language, could not explain why to my father. My father vowed that one day when he has children, he will research all of this and be able to explain everything to us, which he has done thus far.
I think he has done more than research in this entire lifetime of his. Well, we will speak to the young Skandan Arul. To you, Vanakkam, and greetings and welcome to Impressions.
Vanakkam everyone, I am Guest Kovilan Ramsamy.
Well, tell the listeners and the viewers, how old are you?
I am 7 years old and in grade 2.
Well, I believe that you are a devotee of Shri Saravana Baba, who you refer to as Babaji, your guru. What has Sadguru taught you?
Babaji is my first god. I see Babaji as Lord Murugan in my life. Babaji is my end all and be all. It is because of Babaji and my devotion to him that I am in complete remission with my nephrotic syndrome. I owe my life to my mother, my father, and my guru. Om Sharavana Baba. Om Sharavana Baba. Om Skandaya Namaha. Om Shanmukaya Namaha. Om Kumaraya Namaha. Om Dambaya Namaha. Om Kartikeya Namaha. Om Sharavana Baba. Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahi Mahasenaya Dhimahi Tanusha Murugan Prachodaya. Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahi Mahasenaya Dhimahi Tanusha Murugan Prachodaya. Om Tatpurushaaya Vidmahi Mahasenaya Dhimahi Tanusha Murugan Prachodaya. Om Sharavana Baba.
Thank you very much to young Skandan Arul, and I hope that one day you will take over your father's job and your father will look at you as someone that's a Murugan Bhakta. Well, we will take a short break, and thereafter we will conclude this lovely interview.
And make it simple. Don't get that complicated with scripture, all of that basic stuff. I mean, 4 years now, you've been vegetarian. Got up one morning and said, I want to be vegetarian. on the rhythm there.
Yeah.
They can't template from there. I told Chino that's fine. As long as you carry copy on the right day, I got no problem. But there's still a much more work to do in terms of template.
But it does we have to like
You decades.
even the cherry festival also.
Yeah. And they got a big crowd there, a big following.
From Phoenix to Punjab, from Durban to Dublin, right across the world, you can catch us on www.impressions.durban.
Well, Mr. Ramsamy, we all know that you love challenging questions and to respond also to difficult questions. What is your view on Mata Pida Guru Devam or Anne Pidavam Unnarinda Devam?
Well, I must at this juncture say that to reply to your question is not a response from any of the organizations I serve. The answer to that question is that of a personal nature. So I think we all grew up with the concept of Mata, Pida, Guru, Devam, where we asked to worship our parents, we asked to worship our Guru, and then only worship the ultimate that we call God or Devam. Now, I think this whole concept has been very much misconstrued over the years, over decades, mind you, in particular Guru. Now, our South African people always refer to the priest or Brahmin in a temple as Guru. Now, a Guru's purpose in your life is to educate you, guide you to God realization. So a Guru can be your Tamil school teacher. The Guru can be a music teacher. Like I know many of the people say, my Guru is Karthikeyan Pillai. So he is through music taking you into God realization. Then you have gurus like my own gurus, Sri Saravana Baba. You have Ramakrishna. You have Swami Vivekananda. Those are the people we refer to as our gurus or sadgurus, because they become part of our life and they guide us into the so-called level of God realization. Okay, so I think we need to clarify this, because our South African people do not understand that they need to be in seek of a guru. I mean, I was in search of a guru all my life, and until I found Sri Saravana Baba 4 years ago. And right now, me speaking to you here this afternoon is because of the knowledge of my guru, because of the energy of my guru, and more importantly, the strength that my guru has given me to speak openly about religion. So we need to understand, I know a lot of people are going to be angry with me about this, but as Sage said, I like to answer those difficult questions. Somebody has to. The person in your temple is actually a Brahmin. A Brahmin's responsibility is the chanting of mantras on your behalf to the various deities that has to be prayed. You will very rarely find a Brahmin that becomes part of your life like a guru, a sadguru, where you follow him every day. You recite mantras every day. He gives you discourses where he tells you how to live as a Hindu. I mean, with all due respects to our priests and Brahmins in South Africa, which I have a lot of respect for many of them, we need to understand their place in our lives, and we need to understand the place of a guru in our lives. So that is a difficult question I'd like to answer, Sage. I know that you're probably going to get comments criticizing me, but that's the knowledge I have, and that's the research I have done, and that's the results of my research.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramsamy. Well, my last and final question to you: what is your view on the 1 year mourning period of after death of a lost one?
You're putting me in a very difficult space, Sage. That's a very controversial question. I don't think that you've asked that question to anyone. I don't think any of our other radio stations has asked that to anyone. But I'm going to try and give this my best shot. And this is my life revelation in terms of how I deal with this question that you posed to me. I've lost my parents. I've lost 2 children in my life. And I have never, ever followed the 1 year of mourning. My view on this is quite simple. When my dad died, we were praying, the priest came over, we were chanting mantras. When my father's coffin was elevated from the hearse and taking his body to Harichandra's abode, chants were done. When my father's body was buried, we started Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, O Govinda, Govinda. So for me, what was that? That was prayer. And then there was this 3rd day prayer at home, the 5th day prayer at home, the 7th day and the 9th day, and that continues. We put clothes or food in front of a lamp. Who is that lamp? Mahalakshmi. So who am I praying to? Mahalakshmi. So that was very confusing to me at a very early age. And because I found no answer that was strong enough, apart from it's a year of mourning. So if I had to adapt myself and accept that, I think, incomplete response that I get from people, then I would say to you, if you are in a year of mourning, don't go to the mall, don't go to the cinemas, don't go for parties, don't go for weddings. For 365 days after the birth of a lost one, stay at home. Because that for me is mourning. And I think we need to understand where this so-called rule came from. With research, the rule came from the villages in India. And remember something, back then, everyone lived a very poverty-stricken life. It was only the kings and the rajas that were with gold and money. But predominantly, Hindus were very poor and lived in villages with clay floors and clay pots which they cooked on and so forth. There was no electricity, no telephones, you know. So let's go back to that time, okay? Because when a person lost someone in their family, call him the village priest. The village priest will declare a year of mourning, meaning that this family must not observe any prayer. Because remember, to observe a prayer is financially demanding on an individual. And it's for that reason that the so-called village priest or village chief will declare a year of mourning. Now, you must appreciate the forefathers of ours that came to this country. They came in as slaves. They didn't come in as religious academics. They had no access to the Kanda Puran, the Shiva Puranam, the Marimantalata and so forth. They had no access to internet. I mean, now you can punch Murugan and there'll be pages of information that Google will spit out to you. We're privileged today to understand what our parents never understood or our grandparents. So that became a tradition. Now, South Africa is very strong on customs and traditions. I respect that. If the Mudli family wants to put madumbis as an offering to the Mother Mariamman, I respect that. For me, as long as the most important offering is the sour porridge, but that's how the mother came onto earth, to make this porridge and feed everyone that had measles and all other infectious diseases. So for me, it doesn't matter what you put in support of that porridge. Every family, I mean, I know I come from, my granny was the first female Tamil lecturer in this country. So I come from a very strong family. But for me, I want to know why. And the reasons. I mean, let's look at the youth of today, Sage, with all due respect. They have very demanding questions. I mean, having 3 children, and I can tell you, I go through, like, Mayuri be fasting for Kavady. Okay, Dad, but give me a reason why I'm fasting for Kavady. What is this all about? Who am I praying to? You're asking me to put this thing on my shoulder. What does it signify? So you've got to have these answers. You can't say like, as long as you live under my roof, you fast. We're far beyond that. We need to now engage with people in the religious sector who can give discourses, not out of their feeling or their understanding. We need discourses out of research, out of scripture. I mean, I don't know if our listeners know, but the Kanda Puranam in English is readily available. Okay? The work of Arugini Nadar, one of the first saints who received Udadesham from Murugan. There's volumes, there's 6,000 verses of him that's now being put into books. There's a lot of research available. I know that people will say, my father did it like this and I must continue. I hear you. But why don't you take this to another level for your children? Educate yourself. Educate them. We're losing so many of youth to our religion, Sage. You go to Kavadis now or major festivals. The element of youth at these prayers is small. It's minute. When I grew up going to Amgeniro temple for Kavadi, I could remember seeing all my friends from school, all my neighbors. You don't see that anymore. Because I believe that we've erred in getting the knowledge and educating our children. As my children have said to you, I don't force anything upon them. Their God realization must come to their guru, not through me. My job as a father, my wife's job as a mother is to nurture our children. The guru is there to give them God realization. So, I don't believe in the year of mourning, personally. I believe, if anything, for my dad and my mom that I lost, that 1 year, I prayed. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I prayed to every deity possible. Please keep my mom safe. Please keep my dad safe. Whatever sins my mother and father committed, please forgive them. Ganesha, Lord Ganesha, please remove all the obstacles in their journey, the journey of that Atma. So that is where I come. I had a friend who called me 2 days ago, strange enough, and she lost her friend through a shooting a few days ago. Very close friend of hers, a neighbor of hers actually. And she says, my mother and the other elders in my temple are telling me I can't carry Kavadi. She says, can you make me understand why? Give me a reason why I can't carry Kavadi. I said, I can't give you a reason. But if you ask me the reason, what my father would say, he said, this is our family tradition. It's our family custom. Okay? Because if anything, and I had lost my friend, I will carry the Kavadi with a picture of my friend on it and dedicate my carrying of this Kavadi to my friend. So these difficult questions, these difficult challenges must be addressed. We need to come to a forum. And I'm happy to announce, Sage, to your listeners of Impressions, is that in May or June this year is a second South African conference on Murugan worship. I would like every Murugan devotee or other to come to this public event and let's talk about this. Let's together find the experts and let's take this worship to another level. I'd like to thank Impressions and in particular Sage for bringing me into studio and sharing the little knowledge that I have about Murugan worship. And I applaud your radio station for taking this opportunity to educate our listeners, bringing more value to our understanding of our religion. So well done to Impressions. Thank you, Sage.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ramsamy, and also Mayuri and Skandan. Well, I really appreciate Mr. Ramsamy being in studio and sharing his knowledge about Murugan worship. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Ramsamy.
Is now available on 94.3 FM in and around the Phoenix and surrounding areas.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Okay, thank you. I'll catch you on the next Kavadi festival.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you for making me do the radio.
Muruga, Varuvaye, Santi Perave.
that was in the voice of Bros Play. voice of Joey Pillay of Ladies Month. Well, that was in the voice of Sivapriya Padyache.
To all die-hard OPC, Opel, Peugeot and Citroën fans, and those in the game of fun and excitement, CMH, Opel, Peugeot and Citroën in Umhlanga invites you to their dealership. For those out-of-towners, surf the web or dial now to take part in their Summer Dreams campaign that has KZN in a frenzy. From thousands of rands in prizes up for grabs, cashback deals and even free scooters, no one should be at a loss this summer when dealing with CMH OPC Umhlanga. Don't be left behind with this amazing opportunity. Contact us on 031 580 7900. Put those dreams to bed and be a winner this summer, only at CMH OPC in Umhlanga. T's and C's apply.
Your healthcare solution. Discounted, rejuvenating IV skin therapy and acne treatment. All medical aids accepted with pensioners specials. Licensed dispensing, medical practice and lab testing facilities. With branches in Phoenix and Umhlanga. SK Medical 197 Umhlanga Rocks Drive. Call or WhatsApp us on 078
Once again, namaskaram to everyone. I hope that you are enjoying my program today. Well, we had Kovilan Ramsamy, and I'm pretty sure we have learned a lot from his discourse. Don't forget, this coming Sunday, I will have a live CD launch by Mr. Joey Pillay, and he has launched his first volume, and he's all the way from Ladysmith. He'll be joining me on a Zoom call. So if you are awake, and you're more than welcome to join me in welcoming Mr. Joey Pillay live on Impressions, and that will take place about 1 p.m. between 1 and 1:30. And the musical section of that will be a tribute to Guru Swamigal. It's been a very long time since I have actually touched on such artists. So next week will be a tribute to Guru Swamigal, and the following week will be a Tavaram program. So you're more than welcome to stay tuned with lovely Guru Swamigal compositions next week. And thank you very much for your love and support shown towards me. I really, really, really appreciate it. I would like to also sorry about that. I would like to also say, if you are any organization or any individual that wants to come on Impressions and give off your best, whether it's singing or whether you are having an event at your organization or a new CD launch, or even if you just have songs in which that you would like for me to play, you're more than welcome to get into contact with me. And I think the reason why I have chosen for me to be a RJ of Impressions is because I want to promote the youth out there. I want to promote people. Many of us say we are bathroom singers. Some of us, we just sing at home, whatever song, even if it's wrong words. So I want to invite the public, and I want to invite the individuals. Please make use of this opportunity. Make in contact with me and come on Impressions. Even if you are a group of 3 or 4 people that wants to just sing along, maybe 3 or 4 songs, you're more than welcome to do so. Because amongst us, we only look at the big and the famous artists. We leave those people that have so much of passion and love for music. Therefore, I am here, and seated with me, many people will say, what, playing for so many artists and playing for so many ceremonies, kacheris, what, there's some sort of fear in them. I want to say there's no fear. When you are seated with me, it's all about fun, laughter. It's all about encouraging people out there to come on board and do their best. I have started off when I was a small child, 5-year-old, dancing around in Montechkung, listening to my elders play music. Little did I know that I would pick up playing harmonium, my guru, the late kid. And when I was with these musicians, there was a time, I think I was about 5 or 6 years, we met at the late kid's house. And there was a guy named Zoro. He was also a master in playing tabla in Montechkung. And the first song that I actually played was Appa Appa Velappa, in which that you have heard previously on the system. So there was Mana Nalam Tiruchendural. Mana Nalam Tiruchendural, it goes and I am wondering, what is this man actually doing with his fingers? Why is this tabla actually talking? So from there I have decided that I don't want to play harmonium anymore. I want to start playing tabla. And that is how I, came about playing music. In our life, we will always be put down. People who look at you, in different ways. But it's your job for you to look at the near future. I started off by playing for my first band, Lakshmi Ragam. My first artist that I played for was Rani Naika, with no tabla knowledge. Today, I have furthered my studies in Tamil, Telugu, and also playing music alone. And I'm very blessed in this entire lifetime of mine by learning under 2 of the best gurus that I can ever think of. And therefore I'm saying that I am blessed, because I have studied under Mr. Iswa Savamani, Karthikesan Pillai, Dr. Asokan Mudli, and learning music under these gurus, for me alone in this lifetime, is a dream come true. And I want to say to everyone that use my story, as a benefit in your life. Started off at a young age. Today I am playing for 31 artists in South Africa. I may not be one of the best in South Africa. I may not be one of the busiest artists in South Africa, but certainly I love what I do. And I want to encourage everyone out there. Go for services. Go on a Sunday for services. If you have young, children, grandkids, and so forth, get them involved in playing music. And I assure you, one day you will be seated with me here in the studio under this banner, having an interview, launching of your CD, or even just singing. Whether it's just singing Siva Perumane or Mahadevane, record your children, send it to me. I will definitely play it. I want to say to one and all, thank you very much, and I hope that you all will have a wonderful Poosam Kavady this coming Saturday, and I hope Lord Murugan's richest blessings upon one and all. Once again, Dhanyavadamo. Those that are joining us on our Facebook, I have to say a very goodbye to you. We will meet next week, Sunday, between 1 and 3 p.m. And if you would like to, you're more than welcome to join us on our TikTok. If not, on our FM, that's Impressions 94.3 FM. Thank you very much.